Priksha, Dr. Priksha. So she'll be presenting her paper on unraveling the enigma of ocular sarcoidosis. Please stick to time.
Good morning, everyone. So today, my topic. Good morning, everyone. So today I am going to present on unraveling the enigma of ocular sarcoidosis. So, in the first case, a 45-year-old female presented to us with a chief complaint of floaters in the right eye since 1 year. Her vision in both the eyes was 6/9 with the pinhole. In both the eyes, there were vitreous. In the right eye, there were more as compared to the left eye. Optos images shows vitritis, vitreous membranes, snowballs, candle wick strippings, which were more in the right eye as compared to the left eye. This is the OCT image of both the eyes. Skin lesion was present just below the eyelid noted. Investigations were done, and she is a known case of pulmonary sarcoidosis. Mantoux came to be negative. Serum A's were on the higher level, ESR raised, and the rest tests for the uveitis were within normal limit. FNAC from skin lesions confirmed cutaneous sarcoidosis. So the diagnosis of definite ocular sarcoidosis was made. Treatment, she is on oral and the topical steroids. Over a period of 8 months, her skin lesion healed and pulmonary symptoms also improved, but still she has recurrent vitritis as clearly indicated in the picture. In the second case, a 30-year-old male presented to us with the chief complaint of floaters in both the eyes. In both the eyes with the pinhole, the vision was 6/6. In both the eyes, there was +2 vitreous, but in the left eye, there was old KPs also present. Diagnosed elsewhere as a viral parotitis, showing clearly the parotid gland enlargement. At presentation, patient has in both the eyes disc edema and the candle wax strippings in both the eyes, as clearly indicated in the optos and the OCT image. Investigation were done, serum A's on the higher level, Mantoux no induration even after 72 hours, quantiferon TB gold test negative, chest CT showed significant findings. Diagnosis of the presumed ocular sarcoidosis was made, and Heifetz-Waldenström syndrome. Treatment on the oral and the topical steroids. As clearly indicated in the picture, over a period of the 4 months, posterior uveitis completely resolved along with the resolution of the parotitis. In the third case, a 40-year-old male presented with the gradual painless diminution of vision in the left eye for past 2 weeks. Vision in the right eye was 6/6, left eye it was 6/12 part. Right eye posterior segment shows the subtle subretinal yellowish lesion over the IT arcade, and in the left eye it was along the posterior pole along with the subretinal fluid. These are the FFA and the ICGA findings with the correlating subretinal mass. On the B scan, thickening at the posterior pole with the high surface reflectivity and the intent variable to hypoechoic signal measuring this much amount present, so the DDO following were made. Investigation were done, serum A's were on the borderline only, and the rest other tests for the uveitis came out to be negative. Mantoux showed no induration even after 72 hours. Chest CT showed only subcentimetric side mediastinal lymph nodes. So the diagnosis of query sarcoid granuloma in a case of presumed ocular sarcoidosis was made. Treatment on the oral steroids. Over a period of 4 weeks after treatment, there was complete resolution of all the subretinal mass. In the fourth case, a 35-year-old male presented to us with a blurring of vision in the left eye since 25 days. His vision in the right eye was 6/12 with the pinhole, and the left eye 6/24 with the pinhole. Fundus right eye clearly shows normal, and the left eye there is a large optic disc granuloma which is reaching up to the disc and up to the posterior pole. OCT image in the left eye. FFA shows the late hot disk, that is staining of the disc, and the large hyperfluorescent mass which is reaching up to the disc and the posterior pole. Investigations were done, serum A's were on the higher level, CT showed the significant findings, and the IGR came to be negative. So the diagnosis of presumed ocular sarcoidosis was made. Treatment on the oral and the topical steroids. Even after 30 days treatment, there was not complete resolution. So the discussion part. Sarcoidosis is basically a systemic inflammatory disease of unknown etiology characterized by the formation of the non-caseating granulomas. These are basically the features reaching from the eyelid up to the optic nerve in case of the ocular sarcoidosis. These are few of the images from the article. A shows the mutton fat KPs, B shows the multichoroid granuloma, C perivenous sheathing with the hemorrhages, D large granuloma along the IT arcade, and E shows the peripheral chorioretinal lesions. These few are the disc. B shows the hot disc with the vasculitis. C shows the hypocyanosin spots in the ICGA. This is the sarcoidosis of skin. We have similar case, broad raised skin lesions or the plaques that can be smooth or rough and skin color red. These can also arise from the tattoos. This is the article basically differentiating the TB granuloma from the sarcoid granuloma. Top row shows the intense yellow lesion with the SRF and the large basically. The bottom rows is the sarcoid granuloma, which are usually small, dull yellow, rarely distinguishable from the retina. This is the feature OCT, differentiating TB granuloma from the sarcoid. In the TB, there is a contact sign, basically RPE disruption and the outer retinal layer hyperreflectivity. Whereas in the sarcoid granuloma, these are small, outer retinal layer hyperreflectivity is not present and RPE is usually intact. The evaluation can be done with the international workshop criteria and can be divided into definite, presumed, and the probable sarcoidosis. In the definite, we need the biopsy. In the presumed, we do not need the biopsy, but BHL on the CSCT. Probable, we only need the 2 intraocular signs. Treatment, basically corticosteroids mainstay, rest biological agents. The conclusion, important for ophthalmologists to be aware of ocular manifestation as they be the first sign can lead to severe complication. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice presentation indeed. You
Thank
showed
you.
some very remarkable cases. So, did you try to get an endobronchial biopsy in any of the patients so that you could have instead of a presumed, you could have a definite diagnosis?
No, ma'am. In all the cases were not possible. In the definite first case, we had the skin lesion, and from that biopsy came out to be positive. So it was cutaneous sarcoidosis also, pulmonary cutaneous as well as ocular sarcoidosis.
And in the other cases, at the time of the eye manifestation, did they have systemic findings as well? Because we know that ocular sarcoid can present
No, ma'am. Few
independent,
patients didn't have any pulmonary symptoms.
no other symptoms.
What was your clinical differential diagnosis when you saw the patient first before any investigation? Only on fundus examination and OCT. What was your first DD? What or the sarcoidosis came into mind your first? That was your first diagnosis?
No,
Or do
sir.
you had any DD in your mind? What other thing can happen?
Sir, when it comes to the granuloma, I have DD of the TB also as well as sarcoidosis also. When it comes to the
Any other thing which can happen?
Sir, that if any other finding correlating,
You
then it
mean
can be.
diagnosis of ocular sarcoidosis presumed syndrome is straight diagnosis clinically? I'm talking of
Yes,
clinically.
sir. Clinically,
When you see the fundus, is it only the diagnosis or there are some other differential diagnoses?
sir, there can be differential also.
What are these?
Autoimmune diseases, basically TB, sarcoidosis, and the syphilis, uveitis. So we usually do the VDRL, TPHA.
What about posterior scleritis alone due to some
If
other
there is
reason?
not an even in single patient, there was ocular pain. There was no ocular pain. So, and the disc was completely normal. Posterior cyclosis, usually disc edema is present.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice
Welcome, sir.
presentation.